All right, so today we're going to do a different type of video for these design challenges. I'm actually going to have this running while I do the whole thing. I'm going to pause it because there are definitely areas where I'm going to just kind of like need to do a couple things. It's not going to be particularly interesting to watch, but I'm going to try to show you the whole process. And the reason I want to do this is because this is a crazy challenge. This is Lex Fridman, who has a very basic website, and we're not going to be able to get very close to this because everything about design today would be don't design it like this. This is a super old looking website, but I did think it would be interesting to see what we could do. If we get anywhere close to this, my guess is probably not. So we'll have to get really creative. I can already tell we don't have any the nav bar. We don't have a nav bar that's going to look like this, but we can do our best. This I think we can hack a little bit. These badges are so ugly, but maybe we can find a way to put those in. The recent episode is going to be tough because we don't have a thing that has this many columns. I don't think it's been a while, um, but uh, but we're going to do what we can, and that's kind of it. So you got is recent episodes, popular episodes. So we'll have it be show all, just show all the recent episodes, and then I mean, if you really wanted to, you could get into show popular maybe. I don't know how is it. What's the default for this? If you really wanted to, you could get into um, uh, some custom code that you could make it look like this. So here's an example. Like the recent episodes are here up top, and then he's got popular episodes. Now in Podpage we have a featured episode section, but the featured episodes, which is kind of what popular episodes is supposed to be, is not intended to be a huge grid. It's supposed to be just like some of your best. And so we don't have any ways to make that featured episode a big grid. Kind of a cool idea, but currently we don't. His artwork is also super unique, and horizontal. So all these links actually don't go to pages on his site; they go to YouTube, which is a whole other can of worms because I've seen this pattern before, and I don't even know if we should adopt it. But there's like a transcript. Okay, so he's got a page for the transcript. This is kind of like the episode page because it's also where the chapters are. The video goes to YouTube. So we're gonna do our best. Um, so funny how plain this is. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is we'll just go to Podpage and spin up a new site and import his page. So, and I'm gonna just kind of skip through some process. So you go to Lex, Friedman, Lex Podcast. I think he's on WordPress right now. A very, very old version of WordPress. Like he self-hosts his feed. He's old school with this. All right, so it's going to pull this in. This is just grabbing all the episodes and doing all the stuff. I'm actually just going to kind of skip over this because we need to kind of get a little deeper. So, 1 second. All right. So as you can tell, we have already pulled in all the episodes. The normal pod page stuff. It's already generated the episode. It probably has. We can look at the website right now in its basic form. So ugly. But we pulled in a bunch of episodes. We probably bet he has a ton of reviews. Yeah, tons and tons of reviews. He has hundreds and hundreds of reviews. Okay, so here's where we started. Original page, where we started. All right, so like we'll just need to be as plain as possible, and I'm going to try to move quickly enough to keep this semi interesting. Although I understand that this is going to be pretty boring. So this page is basically black and white. I don't think he has any colors, right? He has weird colors. So I'm going to just go ahead and make it black and white for now. Um, Background will be straight white, text color is black. Make it boring. Everything has to be boring. Okay, and I can't really remember if there's a way to do this. So let's go to the recent episodes first. I'm just curious to see what we can do here from the grid perspective. I know that when I originally built this, there was ways to make it a lot more. Um, you could do a lot more customizing from the like number of columns, but I can't remember what. And he just has a ton of episodes. So let's just say there's I don't know how many columns does he have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, and he has a bunch. So let's say 25 episodes. And then we can see if we can get that column to work. That's funny. I really can't remember. I know we used to allow you to sort of set how many columns you wanted for the grid on certain pages, but I don't know you can do it on the home page. So let me see layout, episode grid columns. Oh, only 4. Okay, and I can't remember if that applies to the home page. So let's go back here. Now you have to use the grid view. We don't really, well, we could maybe, let me see. Um, I don't think, well, let's move on. So I think the biggest challenge for us is going to be this artwork, because obviously the grid view is not going to work. And if I was, the team, we could go and upload all kinds of stuff. But I have an idea. So we have this YouTube video matching um, feature, and so if he has a playlist where all of his podcast episodes are, it is okay. So here's the playlist ID. So we take this playlist ID, we head back over to Pod page, and back into the episode area, and we go up to YouTube video matching. Put your Pod page or your ID in. Now, what it's going to do here is it's going to go through all the episodes and all of the YouTube videos and try to match them all up. It does its best. There's a lot of people who have different things they use different titles on YouTube, and there's certain ways, and like they publish them a totally different date. So we don't want to mismatch them, but it usually works pretty well. So let's let this run. It's probably, I mean, if he has his 400 episodes, 400 videos, this is going to take a little bit longer than normal. Yep. Uh, let's have it run one more time. Oh, okay. So it did do a bunch of matching. Oh my God. It matched all of them. All right, well, I've got to fix that website error thing, but that's awesome. So now what we can do, what's cool about this, we go back into I think we can do it in cards. Okay, so here's all the cards normally for the episodes. And down here, we always use the audio image, typically from the feed, all right? If there's a video thumbnail, so what we basically just did is in every episode, we said, well, here's the video link on YouTube. And so now we're going to do video thumbnail, if available. Yes, and that is the video that he uses on his homepage. So now watch this. So we've got his homepage. We're going to refresh. Yes, that is awesome. That's really cool. Okay, so that worked well. Now, and that's a feature you can use. Like a lot of people end up now, they're spending a lot of time and effort on YouTube because thumbnails are so important there, but they don't really do it for their episodes, which is fine. And so definitely a feature you should check out if you're interested in that. Now let me look at the card grid. Okay, yeah. So there's no way to do it on the homepage. I need to add that back so we could have a 4. I think all it does is do it on the episode page. So if I go over to pages, episode, and then edit this one, and then do the layout here, it should apply it. Okay, so that's 4. I wonder if it does it for some of the simpler. So that's just the images. That's kind of cool. Down here you see the big ones. That means it didn't match those. But again, normally the team would go through and then kind of match them up themselves. So that's cool. And actually, that might be because they don't have that much stuff here. Well, let's keep the homepage for us. Again, this is just not going to be, we're going to be able to not get super close, but this is kind of fun. Let's keep it, we'll just do this like simple picture with the title underneath. I think that's good because it gives a little bit more context about what it's about. So cool. All right. So those are the recent episodes. We have 25 on there. If it's going to be 3 across, then I'd probably say maybe the 25 is a little bit aggressive. We can do 18. All right. So that has taken, we're about 10 minutes into this. That's taken the recent episodes area. And now we want to get to this top. Now, the thing is that his top is boring, right? It's just this stuff. So what I'm going to do, let's see if this works, is go into our homepage header. and we're just gonna remove it for now. We're gonna go back over here, content section 1. This is just custom content. All right, Fridman podcast. I actually think this will go. These two things will go to the header, so I'll save them. But then we want these links to be under it. So we'll do this. Oh. Okay, so that puts it up there. Now, kind of it's not in the middle. Again, this is getting a little bit more custom code than normal. Let's see if we can do it really quickly. We can say like this div is going to be, and this is this breaks the design challenge ethos of no custom code, but it's kind of fun to try to figure it out. So this is, let's say, 700 pixels. I think that's about what it was. And then the margin is going to be 0 on the top and then auto on the sides. I don't know if this is going to work with the way that this is built. So we'll see. Yes. Okay. Good enough. And then I feel like it's, let's see. Font's a little bigger, but I think that's pretty good. Okay. And then we're going to go to the homepage header, and we will still use some of this. So this title and description, title, description, overall settings, show the homepage header. Okay. So now we just kind of want to remove everything. So we don't want the cover and artwork up there. So we'll have nothing. We want this to be centered. And then we don't want that media player there. Now, one thing we'll do that sort of breaks it is we're going to do the follow links. We'll put them there. But they're going to be above. So he has, what does he have? Apple Podcast, Spotify, and RSS feed. So funny. We can do that though. Okay, so we'll go into settings, podcast player links, remove YouTube music, and we will. It's funny he doesn't have a big YouTube link on the site. RSS feed, Apple, Spotify, RSS. Now we'll refresh this. Pretty good. Let me see if, again, it's cheating because we have those badges. We actually no one really uses them up at the top, so we stopped putting them as something you can use. But I think buttons would be fine. Yeah, buttons, great. Boom, boop, boop, boop. There's this space in between. That's like because we're using the custom. These are two different fields. We could remove the padding with a little bit of custom code. But again, remember, we are just doing our best. Where did his site go? Okay, here's his site. So homepage header, the title is a little bit bold. He doesn't have bold. His is boring. I think that's good. I mean, we lose the opportunity to have these, and we will be adding a way where you can like slide those anywhere on your page. But I kind of feel like I'd rather just keep it simple than try to get those buttons on there. So we'll go back, edit this custom section. We'll just put this stuff there. We'll put this here. Shouldn't be bold. Oh, it's because it's big. intelligence. I think that's going to be slightly just more like what the page is normal. Okay, so we need to get rid of that top stuff. Okay, now navigation bar. We should remove his branding, so we don't want his name. No logo, of course. Um, I could go through and add links to this, but we're not going to do that. What we will do is, um, again, just to make it somewhat the same. What color is that? So the color is this. So ugly. All right, number styles. Let's say link text color, and then we need the background color of this mega menu is what it's called. Site navigation. Here's the background. So the background will go all the way across, but let's just kind of, it is what it is. And then here are the links. We can make them turn off the last link as a button. Not the same, but you can see. And again, custom CSS, we could make it work. Try not to do that. Okay, so there's the OG and our version. And then, oh, there's a thank you part. Back from 2023. I think once a podcaster gets so massive, um, some of the stuff is like, he's pretty much YouTube at this point. I mean, he has a feed, but there a lot of times there's just not a lot of effort put into stuff like this. For like Joe Rogan doesn't even have his landing pages. His landing page is just like the generic Joe Rogan because he's owned or whatever by Spotify, and so his is surprisingly basic too. But Lex Fridman podcast, conversation about nature intelligence. Down here, a thank you. We could do that same kind of custom thing in the thank you area. Go in here, breaking the custom code rule, but I'd love to get an editor that allowed you to do more of this stuff. We'll eventually add one. Boom. All right, so we're 18 minutes in. And again, if this was my, let me turn the footer off because there's no footer for some reason. If this was, we could easily go in and add all of these links. We could add these buttons. I mean, I can probably just literally add these buttons into the custom code. So there's a lot more we could do if we wanted to get even more clever. But again, the goal here was just to it's kind of fun just to show how much you can do just without even doing a lot of custom code. All right, so let's see. This little thing is the box is still here. Boom. Those aren't centered, but we can make them centered. Anyway, so I think that's kind of cool. I hope this is just an illustration of a couple things. One, using those YouTube videos, it really enhances the page. Two, you can pretty much look like a page look however you want. There's a lot of, especially if you go into the custom code world, then you get a lot of granularity. But even without that, you can see how close we got without having to do that. So keeping this under 20 minutes. Hope you enjoyed it.